Nice. Hey guys, how's it going? It's good to see you all here today. Like and subscribe. We are going to go into the SBA PPP investigation that has affected your loan. Your PPP loan. It may be on hold because of this. Okay, here's the reality of it all. You ready to go into the details of the meat and the potatoes? Skip the potatoes. Let's get right to the meat of it. Ready? Here we go. Like and subscribe. The OIG, the Office of Inspector General, they determined the SBA did not always have sufficient controls in place to detect and prevent duplicate PPP loans. As a result, lenders made more than one PPP loan disbursement to 4,260 borrowers with the same tax identification number and borrowers with the same name and address. These disbursements totaled about $692 million for PPP loans approved from April 3rd through August 9th.
In a galaxy far, far away, a long, long time ago.
The disbursements totaled $692 million in PPP loans and approved from April 3rd through August 9th of 2020. $692 million. On March 27th of 2020, the CARES Act provided $349 billion in PPP economic relief to small businesses in Section 1102. Then again, on April 24th, 2020, the Health Care Act provided an additional $310 billion to PPP. So that's a total of $659 billion in PPP loans, $659 billion in total PPP loans. The fraud was $692 million, which they should get almost half of that back since they were double loans. But being conservative and it say they only get 25% of it back. Okay, let's say they only get 25% of that back with interest. Now we're around $525 million in fraud. So about $525 million in fraud out of, subtract that by $525 billion that was distributed already. And we've got 1/1000% of fraud. And the SBA deserves a frickin' vacation for this. And you want to stop 1 out of every 20 business owners from getting a loan due to a duplicate loan out of 1/1000th of the money? You're going to shut it down? You're going to stop the loans? So let me give you an example of what's happening here. Say I'm a doctor and I have 1,000 pills that I need to bring to some people in the hospital who are dying from a pandemic. Businesses, we'll consider them the people. He gives the intern the 1,000 pills to distribute to the hospital over there. Along the way, a pill falls out of the bottle and the intern steps on it. Oh, and he can only find half of it. So he gets to the hospital to give the patients the 999 and a half pills that he got to save the patients. The doctor says, no, we have to be more safe. We got to make sure the bottle doesn't drop any more pills. Go back there and tighten up the bottle while the patients in the hospital who only have a day to live are dying. So they go back later and they only to find out that, hey, we've lost 200 patients due to the fact that we wanted to make sure we didn't lose another half of a pill along the way. Okay, I'm going to give you a proverb now, just food for thought, because we should learn from history. In Poor Richard's Almanac in 1758, Benjamin Franklin included a version of this proverb. There was a battle going on, and the kingdom was going to be won if he could get this message to the general who was fighting. So he gave this message to a message boy who jumped onto his horse and started driving this message to the general who was fighting the battle. And as he was delivering this message to the general, a nail fell off the shoe that the message boy was riding on. So they came up with this proverb afterward because the rider got off the horse to look for the nail that was lost. So for the want of the nail, the shoe was lost. He lost his shoe. For the want of the shoe, he's looking for the horseshoe now. The horse is lost. Now he's got to look for the horse. For the want of the horse, the rider was lost. The rider was lost. For the want of the rider, The battle was lost because they were looking for the rider. For the want of the battle, the kingdom was lost. All for the want of a horseshoe nail. Now, I've said all that to say this. So now that we got that out of our system and we understand how much money we're actually dealing with and how the funds are still there for you, if you're still waiting on your PPP loan, they're there. They're just being distributed a lot slower. And I'm going to go over why, and if you may be effective, you may know that if you're in this area, which is kind of an area where they once again paint gray, so we don't know if you're going to be eligible for it, or if it's kind of like the 331 section where they say, okay, we've got these idle loans now, but we're gonna do these targeted things that are going to screw you and get you out of it. So let's see if you're in that you might be screwed and out of it area as far as this investigation goes. And this is why I hate dealing with investigations. It's all fun and games until somebody gets hurt, right? Here we go. And according to the CARES Act, eligible PPP loan applicants shall make good faith certification that they do not have an application pending. Remember, this is for the CARES Act. This is way back when, in the days of Trolls and Fairies, when it just started, the first act. Good faith certification that they do not have an application pending for a loan of the same purpose and duplicative of an amount applied for received under the program. In addition, during the period beginning February 15th to 2020 and ending December 2020, eligible recipients certify they have not received loan funds for the same purpose and duplicative of amounts applied for or received under PPP loan. 1. Regulation also states that a lender must make a one-time full disbursement of PPP loan. 2. In addition, borrowers cannot apply more than one PPP loan or receive more than one PPP loan. Furthermore, PPP borrower application form states applicants must certify they have not and will not receive another loan under PPP in the PPP lender application form. The lender must also acknowledge receipt of the borrower certification. Now, in the beginning of that, where I just read this one statement that which kind of caught my attention and probably caught yours too, it says eligible applicants shall make good faith certification that they do not have an application pending for a loan for the same purposes and duplicative of another amount. So make sure that you don't have another application in pending, like you can't file two applications. We were always told it's okay to have two applications out there, you just can't collect one of them. And that should be the case, in which hopefully it will be. Otherwise, a lot of people are going to be screwed with this, because who doesn't apply for more than one loan when you want to go get the best loan you can from the best lender? Read further. Based on our review of PPP loan data as of August 31st, 2020, we found that lenders made more than one PPP disbursement for 4,260 borrowers, which totaled about $692 million and involved 8,731 PPP loans. So if we took the borrowers, think about this, the 4,260 borrowers that doubled up and involved 8,731 loans. So that's actually, some of them got 3 loans. So, okay, so should we stop applying to more than one lender? Question. Are lenders going to be hesitant now to giving out loans if the SBA is thinking about reneging on paying them back because they issued a fraudulent loan that somebody wasn't eligible? So now the lenders are saying they're not even going to pay us. I don't want to give out these loans if they're not going to pay us. Let's stick to the status quo. And they jump ship, which screws us, and our application goes who knows where. According to the SBA, because borrowers are only allowed one PPP loan, duplicate disbursements will be identified as a part of a loan review for eligibility. The SBA will accomplish this by using an automated tool to review PPP loans to test for compliance with program requirements and flag those loans that require additional scrutiny. If loans are flagged by the tool for issues related to identity, eligibility, or fraud, they will receive a manual review. PPP loans may also be selected for manual review for sample selection as part of SBA's quality assurance process. In addition, all PPP loans $2 million and above will receive a manual review. You would think that that was automatic anyway. $2 million and above? Yeah, I think that should be manually reviewed. Come on. We're not able to determine the exact steps SBA will take to identify and resolve duplicate disbursements because the agency has not provided sufficient supporting documentation for its loan review process as requested. Therefore, the SBA should not provide assurances that it will be able to resolve duplicate disbursements. SBA's effort should focus on safeguarding funds up front, as it's more prudent and effective to prevent loan from occurring than attempting to recover the funds after the loan has been dispersed, which is totally, so the OIC is saying exact opposite of what I just said. They're saying, don't just disperse the loans and then fix it on the back end. They're saying, let's stop now. Fix this thing now. This is what I was talking about when the guy gets the pills and he says, I got the pills for you. And the doctor says, no. Go back and tighten the lid. Stop. Don't give these pills out. This is what I'm talking about. Is when the OIG, the Office of Inspector General, says, stop. We should stop it now for the $692 million because of what happened there. And until you fix this, don't give out any loans. This is what is happening. So I'm okay. Now I'm going to read to the bottom part, the conclusion. Here's what they concluded. Loans given to ineligible borrowers place taxpayers' funds at risk of financial loss and delayed amount of available critical capital needed for eligible small businesses to withstand the effects of the pandemic during the first round of PPP funding. Our assessment of duplicate disbursements was based on SBA's loan data as of August 31st, 2022, to fully determine that disbursements resulted in PPP loans to ineligible borrowers. SBA must conduct loan reviews and take immediate action to address potential improper PPP loan disbursements. This is because sufficient controls were not implemented in front to prevent improper loans from occurring. It's more prudent and effective to safeguard funds up front when capital is still in lender's control than attempting to recover funds after disbursement. Since SBA did not sufficiently implement upfront controls, SBA should strengthen its existing controls and implement additional internal controls to ensure integrity of PPP and that only eligible borrowers receive loans for the proper amount. SBA must balance maintaining sufficient controls while also providing needed funds to eligible borrowers during pandemic recovery. If you get that, if you understood it, hopefully I drew that out as good as I can, and that is pretty much this whole investigation for the PPP. We can put that one to bed. This part of the soap opera, the SBA soap opera, to bed. Thanks for watching. You guys have a great rest of your night, and like and subscribe. Bye-bye.